Hello, good people. Welcome back to the BearCast. This is episode 2, and today we have our first few in-person guests. So enjoy.
Shit, Tyler, this you?
G'day. We're live, guys.
No,
We're actually live. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming back to the podcast, the BearCast.
It's screen recorded, so it's
BearCast Ep.2, if you will.
Boys. Yeah, we took a while to get number 2 going, but
For all of our regular viewers,
all
5
subscribers.
all
Yeah.
30 of you.
for all of you, yeah. Do we have
All
more than
4,
50
which
views yet?
I'm pretty sure,
I'm not sure,
it's
actually.
Stetson, Aiden, Sam, and Sam's
Sam's mom, and then one random.
So let's go around.
Yeah, we got some new friends.
It's
at,
the usual 3.
Usual 3, yes. Let's just go in a circle, starting with Aiden. We'll reintroduce him anyways.
I don't know if we
Aiden Kirby here.
Nice. All right. And we met a few friends at the lovely, the magical, the mysterious Pie Hole.
The mysterious
That's
pie
Yeah.
hole.
that
At
actually
the-
doesn't sound
Heard that.
high.
Yeah.
Pie mystery.
And yeah. So the first one's name is
Jess.
Jess. What's your last name?
I don't have one.
Tell me now.
Where are you
It's
from?
Jess. It's like Beyonce.
Jess from
It's actually pronounced
But less
Beyonce.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Okay. Whoop whoop. I'm Nadia, also from Minnesota.
What are you doing now?
What am I doing now?
I guess we'll get there.
Yeah. Well, it's a long story.
English.
I'm Ingmar, I'm from Seattle.
Corinne from Minnesota.
Gang.
Nice game.
Sam Yox back at you.
Yeet. Yeah, Stetson like the hat. So they say. So we had a few ideas about what we were going to talk about, and we can just pick one and go for it.
Start us off.
I think we should
I'd
start
really
with
like my own-
late night pie hole.
Talk about Pie Hole. Let's get a review of Pie Hole.
Pie Hole review. So for all you Zootown listeners, we're talking about Pie Hole. It's the late night pizza shop here in Missoula.
The parlor.
The parlor, if
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah.
You can get there from. When did they open? I've never been there.
11
They're
a.m.
until free.
It's 11 a.m. I think.
They open at 11, but they're also open till 3 in the morning.
So he looks a little parched.
Yeah. So I think their whole goal is availability. It's not that good pizza. We go there like it's great pizza. But
It's
not
cheap.
that
I
good.
thought it was good every time.
I mean, it is good.
Yeah,
It is not bad, but it is not like.
What is the
It
best
is-
pizza?
It
at
gets
Pie
hype,
Hole?
but not hype for being
If you
great.
just cover it in sriracha, it's pretty good.
Honey.
Yes.
Honey?
Not bad in any sense of the word.
Honey is is better than sriracha. No.
You put honey on top?
Do we have
Other than that, yes.
Yeah.
All over the top or just on the crust?
The whole thing.
What's your guys' pizza
you're being so
condiment? Do you guys put ranch on your pizza?
Hot sauce.
sometimes?
Ranch.
Definitely hot sauce,
Just sriracha.
ranch when it's available. In the
Ranch
Middle
and
East, they like the ketchup
Yeah.
on
We
their
have a seat
pizza,
already
or at least they thought I would. They gave me some packets of chup.
I feel like that'd be
now.
What is
nasty.
chup?
Chup? You never had chup ketchup?
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean,
Those are good.
I still try it out sometimes. Yeah, sometimes at the UC if I'm
Feeling,
at Pizza Hut, I'll
feeling
get some,
dangerous.
I'll get some chup going.
Speaking of ketchup, can anybody explain the difference
No,
between
I got you.
ketchup and
Okay.
catsup?
Yes.
C-A-T-S-U-P. Can you?
Catsup is what my
Say one.
old ass grandpa says.
But is it the same condiment?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, my grandma's.
You're welcome.
Shout out to Kelly. Says catsup, but
Well, the other
And I don't like Shout out Kelly.
the
You
other
have you
thing
had catsup before?
catsup.
Catsup is
Catsup
gross.
is ketchup.
You- so you think
No,
that
it's not ketchup.
It is
okay,
ketchup.
please explain.
It's completely different. It's a whole different taste. The catsup that I had in Mexico tasted nothing like good old American Heinz.
Did they actually call it catsup?
They call the catsup C-A-T-S-U-P.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's ep.
No, S-U-P.
Yeah, ep is not a letter.
Yeah, no, it's not. And it just tasted like
We're making
Sig
it
ep.
better, doesn't it?
Sig epsilon.
Sigma Chi.
it wasn't good.
Well, yeah, in Ethiopia it was kind of like a little tangy,
A little tangy and
barbecue saucy.
not No,
No, not.
I
in
feel like
Mexico.
way too sweet. It was
Way too
weird.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I feel like it might have been made out of cats.
Let's keep going. Food and cross culturals. Where have you guys traveled to? Even if it's a different state. Have you guys traveled internationally?
Yeah.
Yes.
All of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Weirdest
we went to
foods in the
Canada
weirdest
together.
places.
Where's foods?
Weirdest foods you've had abroad. Or condiments.
I can't say that. I
Nothing
went
weird.
crazy. I was on a cruise.
Cruise where?
Aiden,
This is
Wait,
ABC Islands.
ABC Islands.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. What
Ingmar?
about you? Ing's got something.
When I visited Minnesota, I actually had something called a Juicy Lucy.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what that
It's
is?
just cheese in the middle.
Yeah.
Juicy Lucy.
Basically, what it
Can I
is,
hit
it's
that?
like a normal
Yeah.
burger,
No.
but they put a slice of cheese in between two hamburger patties.
You think that's weird?
I do. I've never had one before.
I used to work at a really
But it was
fancy
really
restaurant
good. I mean,
and we
like-
had that.
Also, I had like a deep fried pickle, which was pretty wild.
What?
I would
In
not
Minnesota?
recommend
I would
that
not
one.
say
Yeah, I
that
went to the
that's
state
wild.
fair.
Did
I
you
had
like
a
it?
deep fried Oreo.
No, it was super weird.
Oh, it's fucking weird.
I
I
had
love
it when
the
they were
state
there.
I mean, the state fair was fun, but the deep fried pickle was just like.
You
I had
It's
an
nice.
alligator
It
on a
tastes good?
stick.
No, I
Do you
didn't.
like pickles?
Wow.
Wait, you went to the
Yes,
wait?
I love
They're
pickles.
stuffed.
What state fair?
Minnesota State
Only
Fair.
the best one.
You went
Only
to
the
that?
best, of course.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Somebody
it was
got shot
actually
there.
pretty fun.
When?
And
The
you
last
didn't
night,
the
like
fried
Sunday night,
pickle?
somebody
But
got
I
shot.
had a deep fried Snickers bar.
there was
and
like,
that pretty good.
like
That's
gunshots
what
or
I
something.
hated.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you're just a freaking weirdo.
You're the one.
Whoa.
He's the one who doesn't like the fried pickle. That's a classic.
Okay,
Yeah.
fried pickle or
it's-
fried
Gotta get the
Snickers bar.
gourmet
Like,
with the cream
Dude,
cheese.
The
Fried
pickle is
pickles
grown
are
on me.
weird.
I've
I
never
love that.
tried
Yeah.
the Snickers bar. I have tried deep fried Oreo.
They're different.
Deep fried Oreos,
and
good
that's
stuff.
good, right?
Yeah.
And the deep
That's
fried
good.
Twinkie.
I've never had that. I thought it was already deep fried.
I'm taking my shoes off. If it smells
No.
like vinegar in here. I'm
No.
sorry.
What is
really
the
not that
stuff
smart.
around it?
Speaking of vinegar.
Spongy goodness.
Spongy goodness.
Yeah,
That's what
I
they
think
say on
so.
the podcast, so
I think that's what it says on the wrapper.
Have you
Okay.
done a lot?
no, I just listen to a bunch.
Where have you traveled, Nadia?
Only Mexico, and it was the best trip of my life.
Best trip
Yes,
of your life.
I fell in love with a Swiss boy.
Okay, but what about
She fucked some of these.
Swede? We gotta give it up
That's
to the
not.
Swedes.
Dude, I don't like Swedes. Swiss people, I can
You
totally
don't.
respect.
You don't know.
That's right.
Well, I
Fuck
also
you, Sam.
fell in
Shout out to my guy Anders Benoit.
Yeah, fuck you, Sam.
He drives a
Let's
Saab.
not cuss.
Sobs are where it's
Sorry.
at.
Frick you, Sam.
Sorry, mate.
Frick frack, snick snack.
You didn't run into
Mars.
any of the infamous catsup in Mexico?
I didn't. I think that ketchup and ketchup are the same thing.
It's just what.
It's
What part of
absolutely
Mexico
not.
did you go to, though?
Cancun.
Does that even really count as
Cancun.
Mexico?
Time to frick frack when I can never find the time to snick snack.
Now you're thinking.
You gotta go to Tijuana,
Oh,
and then you really.
Mexico
That's
City,
a real
bro.
vacation.
Mexico
You
City.
guys ever been to Mexico City?
No.
Me either.
Can't say.
Me either. But I hear it's gnarly.
Nice.
I've never been to Tijuana.
Tijuana Mama. Bro, if you go to California, like if you go way down south in the desert,
Desert?
Never.
In the
you're
desert.
literally
Bro.
like 30, 40, 50 minutes outside of Mexico.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? You can go to the border. dude.
We're that close to Canada. We're that white.
What?
We're so white.
Hey, well, we're going to Calgary.
We're so white that if we went to the closest
Regina.
next country to us, there'd just be more white people.
What about all the Europeans?
What?
They're
White.
super white.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they're
Like-
just living next to white.
Dude.
So they're just the whitest?
Question:
We are the same.
I know.
If white
I don't think
is
it was
if white is a race,
It is.
It's
That's
Caucasian, yeah.
Caucasian.
are all Europeans Caucasian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Well,
There's no difference between like Canadian white and German white.
I know. I just feel like that kind of like.
Well, the individual
limits
has
white
different
people,
blood in it,
Obviously, but the way it is on like a survey, it's like.
I know. Isn't that just
okay, I
silly?
hate.
I don't
want
wanna talk about this. Yeah,
This
this
is
is-
too much for me.
Can we go back to the catsup thing?
Moral of the story. Moral of the story is I always write black on whenever there's like asked about.
Dude,
my
I say
race.
I'm Hispanic.
Whenever they ask my gender, I say,
That's
because
a
sex, I say
Asian.
yes, please. Instead of
Oh wow, you're really funny.
Yeah.
I've never heard
Dude,
that
whenever
before.
they ask my gender, I always put the prefer not to say, Because I don't like what does me having a ween or not a ween have to do with my ability to do or not? Like,
What if you're at like a medical office?
It's
and
not
you're
that
filling
deep,
out-
you guys.
Yeah.
When has any
It's a
time you've ever
survey.
filled this out, like it's affected you? Never. So just
Never.
fucking
Dude, it's
quit
life
that.
it's more of like surveys and stuff. Like anytime we're getting surveys.
I'm talking about like
So that they
paperwork.
just don't have the
To get paid, you
information.
never done surveys to get paid.
Why even
Same
bother
job
to take
for
survey
3
then?
years.
What's the weirdest job you guys have ever had? Like, what's the weirdest thing?
The game
Okay,
fair.
not even what's the weirdest job. What's the weirdest thing you've ever done for money?
Nope.
For money? Oh,
Nope.
okay.
Yeah,
I prefer not to
Aiden,
say.
you start.
I would check that box.
Oh God, Aiden. Yeah,
I
this
washed
is
I
the
washed
thinking
windows with steel wool. And
I used to be a
Dawn
window
soap.
washer. Hell yeah.
Why'd
Yeah.
you do that?
It gets the shit off.
Yeah, and my friend
Yes.
Katie's
Right,
house
just
now. It was an older lady's house before. Yeah, steel wool right on the windows.
Didn't scratch it.
She preferred. I don't know. I don't remember. I probably wasn't paying attention.
If it's extra fine steel wool.
Like me.
I don't know.
Perhaps. Okay, so
Comment.
sort of talking about international stuff.
We what?
I used
Where
to
do you
clean
where do you guys wanna ever live international? Like,
Yes.
where at? Let's go around.
In Switzerland, obviously.
Let's start with Corinne, and then we'll circle back and we'll talk about Australia. All right, Corinne. Do you want to travel
Canada
international?
or
You want to
Greece?
live in Canada or Greece?
Yeah.
Yeah, I moved to Canada.
What's up in Canada? I mean, I've had that. thought,
Not
too.
Trump.
Not Trump. Okay. But-
It's a Trump thing. You
Yeah.
know, even if he got
No,
elected
not
again,
this.
And he's not.
even if he got
No,
elected
I don't-
again,
I
he'd
don't
be
want
like
them to
he'd be
force
gone in
me
like
to
4
get
years. You know.
vaccinated.
Yeah,
We were
but
talking to
Canada.
We were
I
talking
wanna
to
check out
Nadia's
Canada.
The air's
mom.
like cleaner there.
Okay.
At
Like,
Toronto was cool. I ate a Whataburger. No, Wahlburger.
Wahlburger?
But
Like
that
Mark
is-
Wahlberg's burgers?
Yes.
So I was gonna say Whataburger is down
They have
south,
those in
brother.
I thought, yeah.
U.S.
Well,
Yeah, they
it
would.
was,
Yeah.
it was my experience in Toronto. Okay. What about you?
I'd go to Australia.
Sheesh. Okay,
Mike?
let's talk about that
Yeah,
when we come around.
Go ahead.
Oh, I already said I would go to Switzerland and meet my bae. I also have another bae in Sweden. Either one, whoever hits me up first,
Nice.
I'll go there.
I'm cheering for you, Ruby.
What about you, Jess?
Nigeria.
Nigeria. What's going down in Nigeria?
You can find me a Nigerian prince, obviously.
Like the ones in my emails.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yo, I didn't know that was a thing until my friend started telling me about one guy. And then she actually showed up. He was like, yeah, this is my wife. And he's like,
What?
you did it!
No, that's a different thing. That's like, are you talking about like mail order brides, bro?
Or like, I met some girl in like Nigeria and I'm going to give her $2,000 to like, so I can fly her over here. And it turns out it's just a guy over there.
Wait,
No, the-
Corinne, didn't your uncle
No,
get
that
a
was
mail
JC's.
order bride?
Yeah, no, that's a JC.
Oh, that was just.
Thanks,
I mean,
though.
yeah, the individual couple seem to thrive in their international relationship.
I've watched a
90 Day
documentary
Fiancé.
about mail order brides, and they seem to have a
I'm not
thriving
surprised.
relationship.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay, explain to me mail order brides.
It means you go online and you type in the type of, it's usually Asian for some reason. Type in the type of person you want, and then they just send you a woman.
And you get
Sam
married
has
and
They
you
not
show up in a
happily
big
ever after.
box.
Is
It's a
it,
lot
is
of
it
money on your
consensual
doorstep.
for the woman?
Yes.
Not always.
Well,
That's
from
not
what
good.
I've
It should
seen.
be.
If it's consensual, I mean, it's kind of like arranged marriage
Okay. If you're
via
Arranged
via
marriage
like a
is-
weird
But you
middleman.
were
I don't
on the
think
internet.
arranged marriage is consensual all the time.
It's
No,
definitely
it's definitely
not.
not.
Definitely
at
not.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
because people would be like,
I'm a mail order
We're
bride.
gonna
I just
marry
have
this
not got
dude.
ordered yet. I'm
I would
still
trust.
in
I
the
would trust Bridge and Rich to pick me
Once
up.
I get
Yeah,
ordered
good
though,
laugh.
your mom and dad?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would know what to
Someone
do.
sign me up.
All right, Australia. So I know me, Aiden, and Sam have talked about this. We might have even talked about it with Ing, or maybe this is you've thought about it as well.
No kidding.
There's some internationals here from down under. Specifically, I always want to call it Tanzania University, but Tanzania is not in Australia.
Well, we have
Tasmania, bro.
Tasmania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring them
There's
in
people
here.
on both sides. There's people from, I forget where Matt and
we
Steph
can't
are
bring
from,
them in
but
here, man.
Tasmania's over here, and then Steph and Matt are on the other.
Okay, yeah. But anyways, so we're assuming that our university has some sort of affiliation over there where we could go over there.
A
We
sister
do.
school, if you
I'd
will.
study abroad there.
It
I
is
think
our-
we can.
yeah, we
And I
study
think
abroad.
if one of us goes,
all
like
of us are
we
going.
all might as well.
If in Australia
Bros.
they like Americans half as much as
Australia
Americans
bros.
like Australians,
We'll be good.
everyone's gonna love us.
Aussies.
Yeah.
Steph told, yeah.
Dude, Steph loves us.
I did a presentation on Steve Irwin in high school, and I fucking killed it.
Good.
How's,
That's amazing.
how is Stevie these days?
Very dead.
How's he
Yeah,
doing?
he's dead.
Dude, his son is a ledge though.
His
I
daughter
like
just
him.
got engaged.
I know he had a daughter.
Did she really?
Yeah, she's pretty.
How old is she, bro? Like,
I have no
She's
idea.
getting engaged.
She got engaged.
She's engaged.
She is
Sam.
engaged.
Calm down.
Kendra, is that her name? Kendra Irwin?
Something
Oh
like that,
yeah, dude. I like me some
She's
Kendra
hot.
Irwin.
You're watching?
Dude, remember
Kendra?
Kendra? Dude, she would come on every once in a while. He's like, today, folks, I'm gonna bring on my daughter Kendra, and she's gonna tell you about the.
Okay, well, she was
Elusive.
also like
That was
5.
actually really
I
good.
was only like
Oh,
4.
that was a
so
really good
we've grown
impression.
up together.
No, it wasn't just. You just have really low standards.
They've known each other since they were like kids.
Have you guys seen Paddington?
No.
With the bear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have you seen it?
I don't know.
Just I was gonna do an impression, but no, it's just weird. Marmalade. That's it.
So,
that's all
your
I can
if-
do.
If we
I think
were
it's
to
pretty good,
go to Australia as on an exchange program, my question about it and the thing that's holding me back is I already feel like I'm spending way too much to go to school here.
I'm pretty sure it's the same price.
The same,
I
Same
don't
price
think
as
so.
going for like a semester here.
like same.
Yep.
Hey, are you wearing underwear underneath your underwear?
Yeah, these are shorts.
Dude,
Those
would you
are
rather
those
have-
those are boxers.
All right,
You wear
next time.
underwear under your boxers.
Yeah, what's
Two
some of
pairs
the
of underwear.
topics that you had?
Do you
picked up?
ever
We haven't even-
wear
I was gonna ask you guys
tank
about
tops under your shirts?
well,
That's not the
not
same
as the
thing.
same
It's-
thing.
You
And-
guys are being very good.
Rude!
It's just what it's
Oh.
That's what always
Dude,
happens. Dude, your chocolate milk. My bad.
Yeah,
Where's
last
the
night.
chocolate milk?
Last
You're
night we're in my
honest.
room and we're hanging out with Stets, and I had just zoinked out on the floor. I'm falling asleep on the floor, and then I wake up to just this chocolatey smell permeating my nose. And Stetson's like, "Oi, mate, I spilled chocolate milk all over your carpet, bro." And there's just chocolate milk everywhere. And I'm like, Stetson, think about how bad this is gonna smell if we just let this chocolate milk rot on my floor. So I made him.
Wring it out in your mouth.
We did. No, we sucked it out. We put our mouths to the floor.
I
and
think I put your towels in the water chute.
appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, I think they're still like wet. I'm gonna set them through again. Outsider life. Do you feel like there's a disconnect between you, Nadia,
Mm.
and like college kids?
I just don't really care.
Doesn't care. Yeah, nice.
That's not really the best answer, but it's true.
Yeah.
Because
Who are your friends here?
I don't have any. I just got here.
I mean, obviously, you've
How
already
long-
made
how long have you
friends
been
with
here?
college people, so.
About a month.
Are we your first friends from the school?
Yes.
Dude,
Congratulations.
Congrats.
An honor.
An honor,
Yeah.
for real, for
Pie
real.
hole his service.
I kind of feel lucky that I'm not in college. That I don't have to be.
I'm feeling a bit of envy.
Yeah.
We tried to come over to their place and hang out, and we all had our backpacks on, prepared to do homework.
Yes.
I
That
don't
was
know.
just.
Well, they stared at us, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm,
What is-
I'm
what are you
glad
doing,
for what I want to
homework?
do. I don't have to go to a university.
Well, and the thing is for you guys too is you guys are in this position where you get to experience a new town and a new place and these new settings, but you don't have to put like we're in this position where we're in this new town, this new place, and this new setting, but we're also like we live in the same place where we work. Like our life right now is school. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And we wake up here and we do it, and then we go to sleep here. Like everything is
And
school.
then
Like,
you just like
prison.
spend a bunch of money.
which is it's
Yeah.
desirable in its own way because like we get
Because we
to-
wouldn't be so close otherwise, probably.
Yeah, because we get to meet all these people and like and the net like one thing about college is like the networking. Like I meet a lot of because I'm interested in hopefully like running a company or a business and like I get to meet people with like minds like that and kind of brainstorm.
Mhm.
But I can see how just having like a trade or something that you're good at to just go and experience wherever you wanted. Like I do envy you. I think Sometimes I don't think, man. Sometimes I really think that we just need to drop out.
Did we talk about like
I'll go
whether
right back to
we
plumbing,
thought
bro.
college was worth it or not? We talked about it on the first
It's a
episode.
pyramid scheme.
I think for
It-
some
it-
What do you,
yeah,
what do you
it's a
guys feel?
pyramid
What do you guys
scheme.
feel? What's your
I
vibes
went
on
to
feeling
college?
about pyramid schemes or college?
College.
Pyramid scheme?
I went to college.
Yeah, you guys went. What's it called again?
Well, she
Well-
went to like more college.
She went to community college,
Yes.
Oh, you did.
and then she went to Aveda.
Aveda.
Aveda. What is Aveda?
It is
A
a.
beauty school?
Beauty school.
It's more than beauty
It's
school.
more than that.
It's the one of the best. Actually, it is the best in the nation.
It's like a national one. They have multiple like.
Wow.
They don't have one in
campuses, right?
Montana. We're a hot
Yeah.
commodity here.
We are a hot commodity area.
Mhm.
We could get hired at any salon.
I would
What
let
is
you
that?
guys salon me.
Nice.
What does that entail?
Depends on what you want.
I want my eyebrows
We're gonna
waxed.
wax your balls.
Jess.
My balls have been waxed recently.
What your ass?
Are we gonna go? Really?
We already went to
Wouldn't
the
be
I don't
first
even want to
ass.
know.
It's only a couple inches away.
What do you mean? It could use a wax, bro. Not gonna lie.
Pull it out. Let's wax it right here.
Live ass
just
waxing
over.
on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Just audio. Just audio.
Just
I'll bring my wax.
Okay. Well, what do you guys think about the possibility of college life here on out? Now that you already have experienced a wee bit of
Well, it's
higher
like
education.
community college, so like, I don't know. On one hand, it's kind of like, wow, I see all my friends at like college parties, and I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of fun, but like, that's it.
I don't really.
Yeah.
I'd rather do online. I don't really need the college experience. I don't think. I'm not like.
I
I'm
think
not like
dorms suck.
looking for.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are already quite like adventurous. That's what it seems like, and like create those opportunities to get good hangs.
Yeah, it feels like I've already.
I've moved on
I've moved
From
on.
what?
I don't care.
from this. See, how do you
Describe it.
The fast lane.
Is this
No.
is what we're doing
This
the
is
fast
not-
lane? I'd say
it's
hardly
so
not. These guys are
good.
hustling. We're not. We're
No,
living in high
They
school.
went straight into it.
It's like a
Yeah.
carpool lane.
Yeah.
We're living.
But
we're-
everyone's in the carpool
college
lane.
is just high school that you live at. Like literally,
Yeah.
all of my classes feel like I'm in high school still, mate.
I don't know about
Are
that.
you guys not experiencing that?
I think
I mean,
I
my
think my
classes are easier
professors-
than my high school.
the
Yeah.
separation from student to
This is
educator
freshman year.
is a lot smaller,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I don't feel as like I treated like I feel like I'm treated as a an equal.
Oh yeah, no, it's a lot more.
No,
We really thought we were gonna.
It's a different like mindset because like you're paying for your classes, so I
Yeah.
mean, like it's completely up to
I mean,
you
we
whether or
still
not
paid-
what you want to do.
too much.
Yeah.
But did you guys feel like you were contributing something that was going to directly relate to the trade that you wanted to go into as soon as you were
Yes.
done? Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that. Did
Dude,
you
I'm
guys
taking
feel that?
frickin' microeconomics as a forestry major.
Yeah.
That makes
Don't you take
no
a,
goddamn
this guy is
sense.
literally plays ping pong for a credit.
I had to get 15
That just
credits,
sounds
so
so
I'm taking
dumb.
ping pong.
It is so
that,
dumb.
I was
Dude,
tripping on
pointless.
that
Yeah.
when
Yeah, you're
I
talking to somebody who's in table tennis, and I'm the other person I attacked.
Oh right, table
Sorry,
tennis,
sorry.
not ping pong.
I was thinking about going to like just like a film school or like just a music school
Mm-hmm.
because you know I like the idea of just being like intensive, you know, but it would have been like $40,000 a year, so
Yeah.
didn't do that.
Stetson, I bet if you would have sent like a video of you playing the guitar
Uh-huh.
to any college that has a music program, they probably would have given you a full ride.
It would have been like, wow, this guy is the next Matt Mason.
Flat. Shout out to Matt Mason.
Dude, have
On
you
the
heard that
femur
song
of his,
Hallucinogenics by
I
Matt
have.
Mason?
I feel like you
Jeez.
would like it.
I loved it, bro. I loved it. It really
Yeah.
made me feel something inside.
Yeah. That's a good art. Okay, spooky season. Halloween is beginning to show its face.
It's gonna snow on Sunday.
Yeah, that's
Are we gonna
sucks.
talk
I
about
thought it was only in the
that?
mountains.
I'm not
Huh?
gonna be here.
I thought it was only in the mountains, or is it coming down in the valley?
It said Missoula snowing on Sunday.
But it won't stay, so there's that.
Lowest is 27. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty fucking.
I mean,
Are
I'm
you
not
serious?
from.
Why does
Yes.
that sound
Yeah.
cold to me?
Did you guys know that Fritz has like a weather
A weather
forecast?
forecast.
I saw that today.
It's the coolest thing
Get him
ever.
in here.
So like
We should get
Just
Fritz in here.
go to Fritz if you ever need weather help, like he's got you.
I was asking him about that. I was like, so Fritz, what's up with this weather thing? And he's like, yeah, man, I just do this like monthly, like sometimes weekly weather report. He's like, I just like to forecast the storms more in advance than the
Nice.
weather stations do.
Sheesh.
And I'm like,
money moves.
I was like, is it a joke? Like, are you funny? And he's like, no, bro, just legit forecasts.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Fritz is pretty weird, but he does a lot of cool stuff.
yeah,
I
he
don't
rides his
mean
ripstick
weird.
around
He's
campus
cool.
I don't mean
all the time.
Cool is the right word.
Hey, where's your
What,
tech deck?
one thing that I love about Dunny Boys, one thing that I've really started to appreciate about the Dunny Squad is like, I feel like we all like,
Who are you calling?
I was trying to call Fritz.
I'm gonna.
I feel like
It's kinda
Dunny Squad
cool.
really embraces like the weird, bro. Like we all are like, we're all pretty cool, but like we really embrace like the weird shit that we're into, and like I feel like
Think
it
so?
makes,
I feel like I haven't seen that. I feel like we're weird. You guys
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
We've only hung out a couple times.
yeah, we kind
And
of,
you don't live with us.
yeah, we just kind of we express ourselves very openly,
Do
and
you
like
think that we're weird?
What do you
not
think
at
about
all.
us?
Thoughts?
First
I
impressions.
think you're weird like everybody's weird. Not in like a
Normal.
not special way.
If we weren't
Wait,
weird,
does
I'd be.
that mean we're special?
No, you just said that we're like everyone else.
Well,
But you're like
that's an
every-
interesting concept. Like, if everyone's special, isn't no one special?
Not a lot of people. are
Everyone
weird,
thinks
I
they're
feel
special.
no,
I mean, everyone is
And
unique.
There's a lot of boring.
There are a lot
There's
of boring
so many
people,
boring
yeah.
people.
well, anybody who lives,
I don't know,
in-
dude. There's a story within everybody. That's the big thing. It's story.
Okay, but some
Like,
people's
if you
story
can
is.
connect with someone, right? Like, what makes them cry at night, or like keeps them up, or I don't know, or what makes them happy, passionate.
Nice.
Everybody's got it, dude.
Yeah, I just find so often that people are like living in this mold, and everything they do is like they're trying to fill in this mold more of what they want to be, rather than trying to like fill up, trying to move closer to who they are. They're trying to move closer to that mold that they're trying to fit into.
I'm trying to like find my mold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to like
Agreed.
fit into anything. I'm trying to like find.
Figure out what.
Yeah.
Well, in
what is-
reality, we're just moldy. We're just moldy people.
Just
And
mold.
rather than
True
trying
that.
to rather than
You know
trying to
what?
fit into a mold,
haven't
we should
showered
just mold.
in 7 weeks.
And like mold stinks, but you should let that stink permeate other people and get them moldy too
Unless
on
it's
under the
blue.
mold.
What?
I don't know, dude.
I
I've
thought we were
definitely
talking
like
about
gotten into the trap of like trying to be who I should be, and what really hit me hard is when Fat Thor was like, can't be who I'm supposed. No, okay, maybe that's
That was pretty good, actually.
Wait,
Well, do it
Wait,
again.
do it again. Who's
Do it-
talking to you?
No,
Fat
it's-
Thor
he
at
doesn't
the end
watch
of
superhero
Avengers.
movies.
Definitely cried in that movie.
I cried in that
We don't
movie.
need to get
He's talking about like the
Doesn't
girl
really
was
like
like,
the-
do you want to be king of Asgard? And he's like, nah, I can't be who I'm supposed to be. I gotta be who I am. So for all you Fat Thors out there, be who you are.
Hey,
Be
did you guys?
Fat Thor.
Well,
Did you guys see that
That's
thing that
pretty
was like
deep.
that was
parents
inspiring.
I like that.
wanted
I
the
like that.
Hulk
Yeah.
to wear a shirt because they thought that his big green tits would arouse teens? Did you guys see
They
that?
weren't
It
wrong.
was like a petition or something.
Who's Thor's big old?
No, the Hulk.
Hulk.
What about like all the
arousing
Just let
about
that
the Hulk?
sink in.
Like women?
I could see it.
like me, bro?
I can see if I was a woman, I could see myself getting seduced by like the Hulk.
Anything.
Thor's big. Yeah.
No, like the Hulk, like that idea of like the nice guy who like has a super gnarly bad side, you know?
all the
It's not about-
superheroes
it's
are
like
attractive.
Shrek.
Not about
dude.
personality.
Shrek.
It's about how he's
Shrek.
The man of my
It's
dreams.
not that great.
He's fucking just green and green.
Yeah, he's looking.
Big green ogre machine.
I got a topic. How about like ecosexualism?
What in the world is that?
Being
Addicted to
sexually
Sexual
attracted
to
to
plants.
plants, like myself, yeah.
What about people who are
Like
sexually
myself.
I gotta
attracted
get up.
You like rub up
to
against a
amusement park
tree.
rides?
Or like,
No, it's more of like
Like you turned down my plants.
I just want the trees to just grow around me.
like you like hike up a mountain, you like get a boner.
No.
So it's not necessarily erotic.
No, it's more of
But
like
you said like sexually attracted to.
Yeah, you said
yeah. It is erotic, yeah. Like I get up in them bushes and I just feel
He busts a nut.
no, I just feel these bushes envelop my bod and I'm like
Do you
Where are these bushes again?
wherever they be.
Are you clothed in
I'm-
this
okay,
situation?
I'm really trying to
Straight
understand this. So
Yeah, sorry.
So I'm being enveloped in these bushes, and I'm letting them wash over me, and I feel like a supremely serene feeling, as if there's like no other thing that should be wrapped around my body right now than these trees and bushes.
Well, yeah, the emotions within sexuality exist outside of sexuality as well.
We were talking about that the other day, actually. Yeah. Anyways, that kind of goes into that thing we were talking about the dudes and like touching each other's hearts.
Yeah, masculine
affection.
Yeah.
I love
Can't we
it.
just call it bromance?
Sure.
No,
No,
because it
dude.
should be more normal than that.
Yeah.
I love it when
I
I'm
think
watching like
bromance is
UK
very-
It's
television
just
and their
romance.
bros are just
No,
kissing each other. It's cute. It's not kissing each other, but they're like, "Hey, bro,"
Yeah.
and it's like,
We were-
if in America, like, why is everyone so?
I honestly want to get there.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
for real.
I think
Dunny
it's
boys are
great.
trying to move towards that.
I think it's great.
Cheek kisses
Yeah.
by 2020.
I think so.
Why not now?
Kiss
him on the mouth.
We're not ready for that.
Yeah, no. I don't. I
But
think
some
that's.
women do, but it's just like
We're working
it's
there
so
together,
normal.
Yeah, and yeah, for sure.
We're trying to figure. Never mind.
Like what? Why is everyone so afraid of
Well,
looking gay?
The point that we were making
Yeah.
the other day was that there's such a culture in America, especially with American men, to get laid, you know, and to like get with girls all the time. And we were just saying that like maybe if there was more like masculine affection going on, like in general, that like some of those like needs that you have to like need this affection from something, like maybe you could get some of it from like your bros who you love in a non-homosexual way. You know what I'm saying?
So you wouldn't feel the need to go find.
You wouldn't feel the need to be so pushy about getting affection from the opposite sex.
Yo.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah.
Because some of those non-sexual affectionate needs can be met in a non-sexual way.
Or
by
is
your
it just
bros.
like you should just not have to have those needs and you should just be okay?
I think.
Well, it's
I mean, that's
natural
my
to
take,
have
but,
those
like,
needs.
Hold on. Okay. Hold
But
on.
there is some.
Is sex a need or a function?
It's definitely a
not
function.
need.
Well, a function. If you function and
Reproductive.
I don't think it's a function or a need because you don't need to have sex. Like there's plenty of people who might not have sex their entire life and they
Yeah.
function fine.
I think that the only
Right.
difference between us and animals is that we know, and so animals just know that they need to eat, and they need to have
Fuck.
sex. But we know why we need to do that. Animals just do it
Right.
naturally, and I mean we did too naturally, but we just know why. So
Mm-hmm.
like, I think that everybody. I mean, I guess there's a lot of people, but
Anyways,
that's in your brain.
I think that
Wait.
being, I feel like as a female and watching males be comfortable enough to like be affectionate towards their bros is like very masculine.
Because you're just
so.
you're
You're
like
just so
you're not
confident that
confident,
you're
comfortable.
like
comfortable in your masculinity.
Which
You
I
don't
feel
need
like
to be
you
macho.
often see that in like very athletic, very aggressive like football locker rooms.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're super comfortable, and they're
Just
like
grabbing dick and
and yet they're still very aggressive and got testosterone everywhere.
Right. But why does it only happen in the locker room?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's
Because
another
I mean,
thing.
that's our point that we're trying to make is whenever you have that connection physically, and you can get that connection in a physical sport where you're literally rubbing and touching and hitting people all the time, like that, and that's like going to our point that whenever you have that physical connection, you can move that into like this intimate, not like this intimate thing where you can be comfortable with someone fully, you know. But the way that we get it in football, we can also get from just being around each other and like being affectionate with each other, you know.
No.
I feel like it's different with girls though, because girls like don't have that.
Well, girls don't have a stigma that they have to jump over to get there. Like every time a guy is like being vulnerable with another guy, they have like jumped over this stigma that guys can't be vulnerable with other guys, you know.
Yeah, but that's why it's kind of like I don't like. She's saying like I don't understand why, because it's just like
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's long rooted in like years and years of masculine
Fatherlessness,
stereotypes,
perhaps. I don't know if like a lot of fathers like have failed at their job, then kids like don't see that as a normality. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like if a father's distant, the kid learns to be distant with other males. You know.
That's true. You know, did you know that the one determining factor for men, at least, in whether or not a boy will be above or below the poverty line, the number one determining factor is whether or not they had like their dad in their life. That's an interesting fact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
Is that like a correlation statistic?
yeah, so like you might think that like, oh, like if you're like disabled, then you're more likely to live in poverty whenever you get older. If you're like black, or if you're like X or Y, then you're more likely to be in poverty whenever you become an adult. But like the proven statistic is that if you don't have a dad, you are more likely to be impoverished growing up than any other like group of people, which is really sad.
Yeah.
Especially because there's so many more boys today that grow up without a dad. It's a big issue. That's why we gotta have those programs like that whole we should be big brothers, bro. You know, bro. Go hang out with some kid for 30 minutes a week for like $10.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
You have to get paid.
Shit, why do you got kids?
I definitely think they pay you, but yeah, like the Big Brothers program. You know.
I definitely get paid for my services.
Could just volunteer though.
I got a good question. If you guys could have any foundation, like any charitable foundation, what would it be for?
I don't know, dude. My friend,
Like the Stetson Spang Foundation, what would it be about?
my friend, oh, sheesh, that's a tough one.
Foundation.
I've always thought about like sex trafficking, I guess, or like missing children. Like that seems urgent.
Right.
My friend though, and it's you know what, I would never really think of this because I'm not in that context. But my friend from Ethiopia, in like impoverished communities and stuff, his whole thing is education, where it's like you might think it's just about like get homeboy a biscuit. It's like get him an education, or it often is like a feeding program. Like, get him something to eat so that he can go to school, because otherwise he would just have to work and not go to school. If you give him some food, then he can get an education, then he can get a job, and then he can actually do something to sustain himself. But yeah, I mean, I guess perhaps it's more prevalent in developing countries. Yeah, just getting people self-sustainability within impoverished places. I guess that's
Yeah.
I have a question.
What?
So do you think like we should provide food aid? Do you think the US and Canada should provide food aid?
To
Don't send them GMOs.
Just
Impoverished countries?
yeah, just
people
Christ.
who need food.
I mean, isn't
Do you
that
think
done
we should?
through private organizations like the Red Cross and stuff?
Because like what I read about at least was that they did that for a while, and that all the local farmers had no incentive to work.
Yeah. So I
because
think
they just got all the food, so
it's
really
all
didn't
concept of. I looked at a book cover, and the cover was called "Toxic Charity," where you just get them in a cycle of I'm sustaining you, so stop working and stop motivating yourself.
It's like
But-
why sell your potatoes for $5 a pound when there are UN potatoes for 20 cents or they're free?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, the idea of helping poor communities or impoverished communities, like whether it be like domestically or in other countries, helping them develop like a self-sustaining
Yeah.
situation, I feel like is becoming more popular. Like I know in a lot of the countries, like the real third world countries where they don't have like anything, like they're trying to get them some electricity, like some solar panelage, so they can get some internet.
Yeah.
So they can start like building up this community
Yeah.
into the global market and whatnot.
So it's and like this is a big kind of thing within like the ministries or like humanitarian, like the not GMO, whatever.
Global Leadership Initiative.
No, it's like like humanitarian organizations. What do they call them? Like it starts with the G. I don't know, but it often is like giving them something, but it's not just a handout. It's like a handout.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm gonna give you something, but then you're gonna get up and learn how to use that to sustain yourself.
My organization would be to help kids who can't afford glasses
Oh yeah.
get glasses. Because, like, if you couldn't see and you were trying to go to school as a kid, like, that would be disheartening.
Eat your carrots.
Especially if you were too poor and, like, you didn't want to tell anyone, like, yeah, I can't get glasses because my parents can't buy glasses. So, like, I just can't see shit on the board. Like, that's just my life. Yeah, I think that there's lots of kids who need glasses who can't get them.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of kids who don't even know what it's like to be able to see. Like, I remember whenever I first got glasses, I was like, whoa, like, you just can't see until you can see. And, like, giving kids that would be, like, my favorite thing to do. And I feel like it's, like, more,
Sorry.
tentative than other organizations because you can, like, actually see it happening in your community. Like, wow, look at these poor kids who can see. Go play football.
Did
you
you see a video of the blind kid playing football?
Yeah, dude, the Vine with the metal song. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I know, I know.
Aiden, what would be yours?
One of my favorite Vines of all time. Just so you know.
I think that. I'd say probably a charity towards Alzheimer's because that stuff's pretty sad, and my buddy's dealing with that, and I feel bad for him.
Your buddy, your age, has Alzheimer's?
No, his grandpa has it.
Oh.
Yeah, forgot who he was. It's pretty sad.
That shit's
Whack.
whack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wacky.
Right?
That's sad.
I went over to my great grandma's once with my grandpa. She like couldn't know. She didn't know her son. She's like,
He drove. It's Bobby, dude. He drove Bobby to school like every day for like 12 years, and then just like, "Hi, I'm Ernie."
Dang.
still driving him to school.
No, Bobby has a license.
Shouldn't have gone there.
No.
Okay.
I'd really like to fix that though.
What about you guys?
What do you do?
There's like
so many.
Yeah, there's a
Climate
lot
change.
of things, but like something that I don't know the past like few days has kind of like been in thought for myself would be like not only kids but just people in general that can't afford their own food. You know what I mean? Like on one of my mission trips I went to a all men's homeless shelter and we made their food and we served it to them and it was so just kind of rewarding seeing how thankful they were and stuff, and even like in like schools how some kids have to pay to get their food and then like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that.
Well,
Or animals.
yeah, I was gonna say something about cows, like factory farming.
Yeah.
What about it? Not good?
Well, I
It's kinda
mean,
fun.
there's farms that are good, obviously.
Girls.
Do you feel like it's hard to know, like, with like, what, like it's hard to know, like, I don't know, you don't, like,
It's
how
hard to
often
be
do you
aware.
see a cow factory
Oh,
and are able to go,
well,
like, see and check it out if it's, like,
when
real,
there's
like,
hidden cameras in them.
yeah, like, I feel like
I
it's
mean-
hard to know, like, which ones
When
are
and
bad,
where,
which ones
yeah.
are good, how many are bad,
Yeah,
Well-
because I mean, they're not gonna let you in, but I mean, there's like,
for sure.
there's been work done where it's like they put hidden cameras in factory farms,
Just mass produce.
and
I
it's
think
kind of
that's some-
fucked up if you watch some of the videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously there are good farms and good farmers, but there's also
My
some that
stepdad owns like 5 cows. He's nice to them. I've never met them, but I know that he's nice to them, feeds them good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't freaking like throw them around and pull the cows from their moms and force them to.
Yeah, it's been
Difference.
interesting traveling a little bit and like seeing the contrast between, like, I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but America we're progressing towards that direction of like caring about animals, and yeah, the horses in
Yeah.
Petra are just like animals or donkeys in Ethiopia or something, like it's different.
Mhm.
And one of my friends was like, he was laughing at the idea of like an animal shelter, kind of like because he like kind of runs an orphan care system, and he was like, if I opened like an orphanage for kittens, for lost kittens, like no one, like I would just not have a business, like there would be nothing.
There probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because there's
It's such a different
there's
mindset.
infinite stray kittens, bro.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on
There's
that?
a lot
Do you
of-
like?
Oh, sorry, no, go
Do you
for
have
it.
an opinion on?
If I had any kind of foundation or any of that, it would probably be for wildlife protection and stuff like that. Just making sure that we continue to protect wildlife refuges all over the world, not only in the U.S. Because we're kind of running out of space with all the ice that's melting, the polar bears, all that. So I think it's a big deal, especially now that we show that we still care.
I don't.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What about you, Jess?
I already said climate change.
What about it, dude? You gotta hit something deep.
People be polluting.
For real.
That's what your organization is.
I mean, that's one of
There's
the
a lot
things
of
I can
weird
really
shit.
get with. Like, I don't know about everything that's going on, like, scientifically. Like, I'm just not there, and but I don't know.
It's
And
not like scientific to know that there's a shit ton of just shit that's not supposed to be on this earth.
yeah, and I
Like-
think
Everything that's on this earth has been from this earth, though. Literally every
Right.
single thing. You know.
But the I feel like the argument is like, does that have to do with the climate change?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Pollution.
See, I start to get in whenever I really start to think about it, because I try to be objective about it, and I try to not let any I try to see what's really going on and take an objective stance on it. You know what I mean? And whenever it comes to a lot of the environmental issues that people talk about, part of me thinks that the Earth has gone through extinction periods over and over again. I think there's been 5 great extinctions in the history of the Earth. You know?
Dude, that's what Ingemar's and I's Big Sky experience was about.
Really, about the major extinctions that happen around the
Yeah,
world.
we were
paleontology.
a paleontology thing, dude.
My theory is we're going through this natural cycle that's happening. The Earth is getting
It's a
hotter.
living and breathing organism.
Yeah,
the
and
Earth.
I just think that the next wave of living things on Earth is just not going to be humans, because the Earth is going to change and humans aren't going to be adapted to live on an Earth that's completely different. So I think they're just going to change, and all of a sudden let's call them Spleebops. That's this new species who doesn't need oxygen to breathe. They can breathe CO2 and they're fine. You know what I mean? So I just think that we might be in this cleansing period where humans are just going to die out, and that's the course of the Earth.
So should we just
So
should we
End it
just
all?
not care?
Should
What do we do?
Should we do
What do we
something
do?
to,
What do
Yeah,
we
to
do?
protect the
other
process?
species? Even if we aren't gonna make it, say there's a species that might,
Mhm.
should we try to should
I
we
mean, I don't-
care
I mean,
about
I
them,
think
or
that
should
you
we
should
just
care,
say
'cause then
screw
you
it, we're
can at
gonna die,
least-
so
Doesn't matter.
Well,
Like,
obviously,
it's
we
just-
shouldn't be doing
Yeah.
anything that's actively contributing to the deterioration, because obviously we don't want it to happen any faster than it's going to happen. But I think taking aggressive stances to try to change what's inevitably going to happen is just I think that's just trying to fix something that's
Should our generation be scared to have children? Do you think our generation
No, I
should be
think
scared
that's-
of children?
I think it's an important part of the human condition to want to make children, and I think that's part of who we are, and it's going to be part of who we are until there's not enough for this Earth to support us, and then the Spleebops are going to take over, and they only need to have sex once, and then whenever they have sex, they make 500 babies, because that's how it's going to have to be, because 300 of them are going to die.
It's all natural,
It's
bro.
all natural, bro.
this is an accepted theory, you guys.
This isn't.
I think Stephen Hawking
believing
This is
Yeah.
not
wrote
my
about
future.
this.
Yeah.
Bill Gates, one of those
Yeah.
guys, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Didn't Stephen Hawking cheat on his wife? I think I heard something
He
like
had
that.
struggles because he was in love with a woman,
think
but
he
he was
died.
also kind of losing it
Did he?
He definitely
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
recently. And
Recently.
Mhm.
And I think he said something right before he died. He's like, "Oh, I prophesize that the Earth is gonna end on this day," and I think he was just fucking with us, bro. I think he's like, "I'm
Obvious.
donezo, and everybody's gonna listen to me, so I'm just gonna say something."
Yeah. Right.
Well,
Okay,
Rip, I guess.
Anyways,
one life goal, narrow it down. Get it? Okay, this is from Instagram. Annika asks, let's say one life goal or like purpose, like deathbed, what will you
Wait,
have
who's
wanted to
Annika?
do? I went on Instagram a while ago and asked what people wanted to hear about or like questions they had.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's
One life goal, like short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah.
You're on your deathbed. What do you want people to remember about you?
Or one thing
Same
you wish
thing,
I
same
would have
thing?
done.
Or something you've done, like
Okay.
why was I here? Like what was important that I did here?
Just fuck shit up, you know?
I would say just make like as many connections, just as many as possible with people, animals, anything.
Connect.
Just like that's the only thing that really matters. Me boy.
Is it?
To me,
Yeah, relationships.
relationships.
Yeah. Memories.
All of those are gonna be gone now.
Good. Not everyone's
When you're
gonna
dead.
make a difference, like a huge difference, but you can make a difference in like the people.
Yeah,
that
and other people
you
like helping
meet, like the
someone or
relationships you have, because at the end of the day, that's really what's important.
Yeah, just knowing that I was. I
Somebody
tried.
remembered you,
contributed.
Yeah.
or maybe you
Yeah.
made somebody's day or somebody's life a little bit better.
Not even somebody or something, you know.
For me, it's like I want people to like live in the world and see or like somehow experience what I've done in my life. Like if it's some kind of, you know, I work protecting forests or whatever, it could be through what I'm studying or anything like that. I just want to leave the world better than I, you know, arrived in
Yeah.
it. Any way I can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Boy Scout vibe.
yeah,
Like it.
a little bit.
Corinne.
I kind of already.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Samuel.
Oh man, I take a more stoic view on it, and my thing is like, I'm gonna be Gonzo, and like, I just hope that whenever I die, that I don't know, man. I really don't know, cause I don't quite empathize as much with like, oh, I wanna make an impact on the world. Like that's gonna be gone. So like,
Everyone wants to make an impact, but
Mhm.
in reality, it's like nobody's gonna remember us.
I just
We're not
hope
gonna
that
be
the
in
people that I
any history
love-
book.
I was
Right.
more taking it to the point where like if I'm dead, if I'm
Like for
gonna
myself,
die,
not
for myself, I just want to meet as many people as I can, see as many things. Not like
Don't have
I
to
guess
not
have
what I
that.
wish I would have done.
okay, I see what you're saying. I think for me on that same track, I hope that the people that I cared about know like how.
Yeah,
'Cause,
like how
I
do we
like because I don't care about most people, but like the people I care about, like I really passionately care for their well-being. So I guess whenever I die, I hope the people that I like really care about like know that I really did like have a passion for them and like
Tell
for
them.
them. I do. I tell Stetson all the time, bro. I really do. Me and Stetson are brothers.
Y'all gotta give Aiden some
What about
love.
Aiden?
Yeah,
I give Aiden
Seriously.
love. Dude, me and Stetson just end up in this room at like really late at night talking about how sad we are sometimes. So I just love him.
We'll call you next time.
Yeah, what the hell?
I'm sad too.
So I was. I don't know.
Aw.
I just
What
get to
is-
be alone.
What are you sad about?
Dude,
Life,
life, man.
bro.
What about it?
That's a different
It's hard out there.
Spiritual crisis.
Spiritual crisis.
Those
No.
are the worst.
I'm in a weird spot with like my faith, but anyways, you guys were talking about.
We should talk about that.
I wanna talk
next
about it.
podcast.
Let's get it next.
Because I got a lot
podcast.
to say.
I
Next
want
app.
to just talk
Yo,
about it
Tintin,
now.
you didn't say your goal.
Yeah, I'm with it. You guys are talking about feeling like not everybody's gonna make a big change, you know? Like not everyone's gonna be, I don't know, Steve Jobs or Mother Teresa. So I think what I want to do is communicate the problems like vastly and like hit people in the heart with their emotions, and just get a lot of people to feel that connection and see a problem and do their tiny part in making a small difference. But you know, if I get a million people to do it, it's a big difference. So yeah, communicate.
I don't know if I'm cold, if I just got chills from that, Stats.
Okay, what about you, AIDS?
Well, I used to always think that my goal was kind of like, I mean, like, all the funerals I've been to, like, 30 people there.
Mhm.
Not a lot of people. Like, I feel like when I have a funeral, I'd like to have a lot of people that like I actually know there, like more than 30 at least.
Yeah,
Like,
you connect.
right? You feel like 30's not that big of a number
Mm-hmm.
that are mourning for your death, kind of.
Is it about the
See,
number
if
though?
it's
No, it's
yeah,
not
I
about
was
the
gonna say, if
number.
it's
No,
30
no, that's
people-
what I was getting to the point though. Used to be my goal. Went through high
Okay.
school. I really only care about like a couple dudes now. But
But it would be cool to have
It'd be-
like, a
it'd
connection
be-
with a lot of
yeah,
people.
exactly. That was my thought initially.
Okay.
I've gotten over that. Now I think my goal is to just be able to support my family more than anything, like my parents
Good
and my
goal.
brothers and wife,
Interesting.
children.
When I die, I want to have, I think it's an Irish funeral or something like that, where everyone just gets drunk and just like swaps stories about like the guy that died.
Yeah.
That's how funerals should be.
I feel like
Yeah,
native,
agreed.
like I've been to a lot of like native funerals, and I feel like that's a lot of it. Like
Yeah.
That's
the
what I
preacher does
want.
his thing, and then like
Mhm.
all the homies get up and tell their best.
I just want
stories.
all my friends, all my family to just get drunk and just tell dumb
Stories
like,
about all the fun
dumb
times.
shit I did. Yeah.
That's
I'll-
all that
I'll just
matters.
say- I'll
yeah,
talk
I'll
about
start
some-
writing them down now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
like,
My thing is,
Real
once
quick.
you die, nothing matters except the people that you loved. That's all that matters is the people that you loved, and nothing else does because you don't impact anything else except the people that you love.
Right.
So that's all that matters is the people that you love,
This is
your
interesting.
connections. But my thing is, I spent so much of my life trying to connect with people because I love them so much. But like, it took me a long time to learn that like, only some people are wanting that same amount.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
those are the people you should
And it
pursue.
takes like yourself, like opening up, being able to open up to people.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like,
Well, yeah, and you got to be comfortable with yourself before you're able to love others like the way that I think that you should love others. Anyways,
It's interesting. Talking about like small changes, and you just being like, I just want to go love my family. Mother Teresa, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. Just like. That's
Dude,
it.
God
if,
said-
if
God
everyone
said-
went home and loved their family and took care of them,
Nobody would have to be
God's-
taken care of.
didn't God say like if you honor your mother and father, like that's the key to life?
you're gonna have a long life.
No,
So
that's,
Yeah, yeah,
I
he
think
said
that's the third commandment.
No, yeah, God
or
says it.
fourth.
it is all as well.
Yeah.
But he says literally like if you love your mom and dad, like,
It says,
you'll
"Thou
live long,
shalt not."
die.
No, thou shalt not.
Yeah.
Like,
It's the same concept in different. One of them's commandment.
Different
thou
context.
shalt not. I don't know.
It's the idea that taking care of your parents is like the ultimate good, which like I've always struggled with because I don't think my parents like
My dream is to like buy my dad a new car.
really.
That'd be crazy.
My dream
What up? What up?
what do you guys
is for my dad to love
What are
me.
you guys tripping on?
Yeah,
I'm like crying.
we're trying to have a.
Stupid as fuck.
Oh no.
Stop.
It's like, so one of you was like, "Thou shalt not," and Sam's like,
Die.
Thou shalt not die.
I try to simplify the
I don't know.
Bible because
I
like the
just, like-
Bible gets so misconstrued as like something that's so like complex, but really it's just like this
I
word
love-
that we're supposed to hear, you know?
But it is
That's
not
what
bad.
Jesus
Dude,
did, dude.
okay, can
It
I
is
talk
complex,
about
but I
something?
think it's simple at
Can
in
I
its
just
heart.
like say something that? So I was like looking on Facebook today. I'm like never on Facebook, but I was, and it was like
Migrated.
this girl, and she was telling a story about how she like pulled up to a stoplight, and there was like a van in front of her, and it like backed up, and it like hit her the front of it, and the guy got out, and he's like, there's no damage, like come look, and she's like, no, I need your insurance card, I'm not gonna get out and look. It was like at night or whatever, and he was like, no, come out and look or whatever, and she's like, I'm gonna call the cops, and he like sped off or whatever. And so she was talking to her dad, and she's like, I've heard about that happening where they have them like get out and then they just like kidnap them.
Yeah.
And she's like, I never even thought about that.
Or the old baby in the car move.
Yeah. But then somebody like
I do that one all the time.
commented, that's horrible. Somebody like commented like, oh, thank God was there with you or something like that. And somebody else was like, well, you know what? God gives us challenges for a reason. That wasn't God or something like that. And I'm like,
No, they said that
What
it
was
was
it?
God and that God gives you challenges and that's why you get trafficked.
and I'm like, what? So you're saying that like
I mean,
you should get kidnapped so that God can help you through it or what?
yeah. I mean,
That's
I
what
feel
it was
like
just like
we've
fuck
people
you, man.
often like attribute things to God when
It's free
maybe
will,
God's
bro.
like
A lot of
that wasn't me, bro.
It's
Yeah.
free will. It's
whenever it was
100% free
obviously
will.
sin, like whenever it was obviously something that was rooted in sin.
Yeah. And
you
dude,
know?
The
all the way
second
back
God
into the
gave
day,
humans
like,
free will,
oh, the
they
sun
ate the apple, bro.
must be the sun god. Thanks, sun god. The wind, shoot, that wind god, he got us. Like, you're just attributing all these things that you see. Like,
Well, that's just how you cope.
Well,
with
that goes
not
all the way
knowing
into the
things.
nature of religion, and the nature of religion is to give purpose to a purposeless world.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I mean, and people will do it in a modern sense, whether it's like I got raped, like let's attribute it to something, and it just it's entropy. Like it's giving order to a chaotic world. That
It's how
chaotic.
you understand things
you
that
know?
you don't understand.
But it
Homegirl
makes people
wanted to
better.
get an entropy tattoo. I thought it was a really good idea. Idea of entropy, the idea that things go from a state of more orderly fashion to a state of chaos. You know.
Okay.
Like everything, like our bodies go from an orderly state to a disorderly state, and we die.
Yeah.
Or everything
Anything.
in the universe goes from a state of order to a state of chaos.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by that.
It's pretty fascinating.
But yeah, I think it's very wrong to attribute God where sin was definitely the root.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Or evil, or whatever you want to call it. You know.
Yeah.
Like whenever bad was the root. And that's why, and then religious people get so much flack for it because that's what you get attributed to, is like, oh, these people think that it's okay to get raped, you know? Like, there's such a stigma.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like it when people like push their views on other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't get why people can't just like believe what they want to believe. Like why everyone has to believe the same thing.
What I always hear is, and I think I kind of agree with it, like, and this is kind of me, I guess. But if you believe that, like, you had the one thing that really mattered and really could like complete someone, you know, you wouldn't want to withhold it. The analogy that's often used is, if I found the cure to cancer and you know, someone maybe didn't know they had cancer, didn't think they did, you know, I would like technically I should be able to go up to them and be like, hey, you're
Okay.
sick, like, and not like you're sick, but like you're ill, and like I think I have what can help you. Yeah, that's the idea.
That
Which
makes
I
sense.
mean, and when there's a lot of that conflicting, I tried to talk to this Muslim guy, and like I was on a mission trip, so like oftentimes the goal is to like, you know, bring Jesus into the conversation, and then he ended up like kind of evangelizing me about Islam.
Yeah.
So I mean, it also is it's messy if everyone thinks they all know 100% truth, and we're all
Yeah.
just trying to
Well,
convince
like,
each other.
If I'm like,
That's-
I don't have cancer, why are you talking to me? Why are you telling me I have cancer?
yeah, yeah,
If I don't think I have cancer.
I mean, once you get into the spiritual realm, though, you're beyond like the physical realm.
yeah,
It's beyond like
yeah,
touchy, or not even touchy, just highly complex. Like because to someone who I dated a girl for 4 years who was like very like this, and like she loved me so much, you know, and to her, like she wanted nothing more than for me to like be in heaven for eternity because she loved me, you know what I mean? But like to me that wasn't even a real concept, you know? So like her love for me, like she was worried about my eternal being,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't even on that
you
level.
were just like, just love me here.
Yeah, exactly. So like
That's tough, dude.
someone caring about like
That's a
someone caring
dilemma,
about
straight
your
up.
eternal being is like part of it is like might come off as selfish, but the other part of it is entirely
They're yeah.
it's coming from their truth that they 100% want you to live an eternal life. You know what I mean?
Well,
It
dude,
took a
well,
long time to understand.
Are you
that.
just like not religious or?
I am highly spiritual. Like I believe in
You're searching.
yeah, I believe I believe definitely in God. Like I think there is a God of the universe who like I think that the world and nature and like my life and the fact that I can talk and think and have this life is far too perfect to account that to random happenings. Like I don't think that there was a random slew of energy that put me here. Like I'm here because something beyond us put us here. But like whether that's whatever institutionalized religion or a personal growth thing, I don't know yet. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think we know far too much about the world to say that any one religion is correct, you know, but I think we know far too little about science and the world to say that any one religion is wrong. You know what I'm saying? We don't know anything. We don't even know. We haven't even mapped like a quarter of our ocean.
It's
you know?
like
We don't
things
know.
you can't know. Though it's like, is there a God? It's like you won't know. You can't know. It's stuff that's unknowable.
Yeah, but something I've always craved is that feeling that my girlfriend or the girl that I dated forever had. She knew. Like to
She
her,
knew.
to
And that's
her,
the thing, dude.
To
Like,
her, it was 100% real.
yeah, you can. It seems like I feel like God has proven himself to me individually, but for whatever reason, there really isn't much to where I could grab onto something physical, you know, physical evidence, and like tell all my friends, whether you've ever been to church or not, look, this actually happened, and like for them not to be able to like deny that, like that doesn't really happen, you know.
I feel that. The point I try to make because that's a point that I try to make. I don't try to make a point, be a Christian, be this or that, but the point that I do try to get across to people is like, look at this shit. We're on a ball spinning through infinite space. Like, if we were 10 miles closer to the sun, we would burn to death. And if we were 10 miles further from the sun, like, we'd literally all freeze to death. Like, we're held in this perfect suspension. Everything's going okay. Like, think about that. There's something going on. That's what I try to tell people, to try to get them to at least consider the possibility of something beyond human beings being the most intelligent source of knowledge.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't like that.
You don't think?
I don't like that, like, you have to know what it is, or like,
You don't know what it is, but can you?
yeah, but you can't know, so why would you, like
Wonder and ponder.
about it? Like, I'm Buddhist, so instead of, like, saying, like, oh, is there a God, oh, what am I doing here, it kind of asks you, like, why do you feel like you need to know the answer to something that's unknowable?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we just accept it for what it is, Your Honor?
I have accepted it for what it is, and what I've accepted.
I'm not saying you haven't. I'm
Yeah.
saying in general.
Yeah. In general, I think if you look at this world objectively and you look at where we're at,
You would appreciate it more.
you would come to the conclusion that, like, wow, it's pretty fucking crazy that we're here. Like, there's no way that this just happened. That's the conclusion that I've come to. Like, there's no way that this just happened. Like, the tree out there, the way that it looks all red on top and all orange in the middle and all yellow at the bottom, like, that's just too perfect to be random.
So it's like an appreciation thing, or like an acknowledgement.
Yeah, an acknowledgement that, yeah, and that's almost a Buddhist principle, man. I am so thankful to be breathing that, like, I think that was put into me by, like, a higher being, whether it be myself or, like, my inner self or, like, God or whatever. Like, the breath in my lungs is so perfect that it couldn't just be random. You know?
Interesting.
Do you feel a desire, like, currently to, like, ask those questions that seem, like, unanswerable?
Ask sure. I feel like I've always had that. That's been a constant for me, is trying to seek those answers. And, like, for a time it was from Christianity, and from a time it was, like, fully from myself, and now it's like, it's getting into, like, that woo-woo shit where I'm like, I'm feeling everyone's energy and, like, feeling all these good vibes. You know, like, I'm big on, like,
What kind of energy did you get from Ingmar, Stetson, and I at our floor meeting when you met all of us?
What'd you get, bro?
Honesty.
I'm kind of curious.
Honesty.
To be completely honest, like
honest.
you're like with you too. Like the reason
We
I connected
too.
with Stetson so hard is whenever me and him hung out, like I
Oh,
felt,
us too. Okay.
yeah. Not that I don't love you guys. 'Cause,
No,
like, you guys, like I do.
You pointed at me and Jess. I was like,
No, like you guys, like I am passionate about you guys and I care about you and like I've grown into like loving you a lot. But like with Stetson, like I was receiving like vibes of we just had I just knew whenever we met that we had a lot in common that we could connect over and like but I literally felt it, you know, like I could feel this connection that we had between us and like I prioritized like fostering that and making sure that like that I didn't leave that feeling like untapped into. Like I felt whenever I have feelings, I try to go after them and like pursue why I'm having those feelings and what I can do with them. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It's like
I feel like I get that, and I see it in like this perspective of like you're more than just, I don't know, I mean just flesh. Like the brain, if we call it just flesh, is pretty freaking magnificent and like quite complex. But
there's electricity in there.
I do feel like plugged in, bro. I do feel like there's actually like a spirit there, and you can sense sort of that. Like certain people remind you of certain other people. Like I talked about my friend Nathaniel and like you and like I don't know. You can call it vibes, call it a spirit. There's something more.
But that thing that connects us beyond any physical communication or verbal communication, that's just another thing to me that proves like that this is not random, because it's just so not random. Like I'm just so happy to be alive. I just love I really do. I love all you guys. Like the fact that we met each other and that we're here making this and talking about this.
Yeah.
And like having like highly intelligent advanced conversations, like it's just so good. It's so like it gives me so much hope for like for people, because like it seems that we're moving into an age where information has less value because it's so accessible. Like you can get information about anything anywhere. So like because of that, there's less original thought. It's like being here and having these original thoughts and like these original concepts and really digging deep is like it gets us so much closer to what it means to be a human being. And it's special because we're different than any other animal in the whole world.
Word. Sorry, not to like detract from this, but Stetson's leg heat is like causing the water in that jug to evaporate. It's amazing.
I'm a warm boy.
Dude, Stetson is high like output of energy.
I'm not.
Energy in the form
Stetson
of heat.
is like high.
No, he's
I
like
be sweating.
no.
Stetson hot? I respect
I think he did.
Did you guys sweat a lot?
Yeah, I'm just
Oh,
sweaty,
Corinne.
bitch.
Oh, after we got back from the trip, I was like, dude, my lap is so
My ass was
sweaty.
wet.
But then
I literally was saying, like-
then I realized that I had been in my undies when we were in the hot
Oh,
spring. And I was like,
thanks
oh,
for
my
that.
pants are just soaked. I was like,
What's
Yeah,
that
no,
place
my
called?
pants.
yeah, no
Weird.
kidding.
My
Weir.
Weir Hot Springs?
Weir.
Northwestern residents, check out Weir Hot Springs.
Yeah, for all of our
way better
listeners.
than a bathtub or like a hot tub in a Holiday Inn.
for sure.
I've
Less comfortable, but better.
Yeah,
But it
was it
more
really less
I
comfortable?
wouldn't say less
yeah.
comfortable.
because
I don't know. I wish there was like a good like really some lumbar support within those rocks. I
Right.
was just kind of like laying.
What is a lumbar, bro?
I don't know, but like good chairs have it. Lumbar support.
Is it like a body part?
It's like your middle back area, right here.
We need to work that out some more, bro. Get those lumbar muscles going. Do you guys do yoga?
Yes.
Do
Should
you?
we do yoga? Should we do
Awesome.
yoga?
Do you do yoga around here? Shut up, bro. Everyone's
I haven't
Shavasana, dude.
found I haven't found a studio yet, but I will.
Me
Jenny's
freaking
friend.
either.
She said at a yoga studio, and she said you work there
And then you
Yeah,
pay for
that's what
classes.
once a day,
Yeah.
or once a week for 4
4
hours,
hours.
and you can just get free yoga.
Well, if you ever find something that you like are feeling good about,
I'll
I'm
bet
looking
you.
for somewhere to do some good yoga,
Yeah,
bro.
let's-
Dude, just
I
come over
would
to the
enjoy
apartment.
some.
Do some yoga right now.
Stetson,
I
you should do
tried-
yoga with me in the morning. I do yoga every morning.
Really, bro? Hit me.
Yeah,
I haven't got to the yoga where it's like I haven't connected with the like whole spiritual part, but I like more like athletic.
I'm
I
not
feel like
into
you
the
need to be
spiritual
more
part.
outside.
Yeah, I'm trying to get stretchy, homie.
Right.
Do you guys?
It's
okay.
a lot harder when you do it like that.
Check this out,
It's
bro.
a doo-doo.
Have you guys ever
Sets and
experimented
bones
with
splits.
meditation at all?
Yeah, we have to do it in school a lot.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Holy shit.
Whoa!
I'm gonna take my
How do you do that in those jeans?
They have spandex in it.
Podcast.
Damn, that's gonna
I
just
didn't think I
fuck
could
up
do
the
that.
whole cast, dude.
I bet it could kick you in the face.
Okay.
See?
I think that is.
No, what?
Yeah, hang on.
Don't
Let's
kick
get
you
it.
in the face.
Jeff,
Don't-
before you kick him in the
don't do that.
face,
I
let's try to close out
Yeah,
this
then you
podcast.
don't.
Let's try to close out this cast.
Okay.
Any final
I gotta go to
thoughts?
sleep. So
Ingemar's going to sleep.
I'm tired.
Peace and love.
Hang on, Ingmar, you dip
I'll knock
out.
you out.
Give your
2 cents.
My
Last
2 cents.
Peace.
Bye guys. Have a great week. I'm going to sleep.
Good night.
Nice.
See you guys.
Wait,
Guys,
wait,
we had a
wait,
solo
wait.
for the cast.
We need a group hug.
Yeah. We have to.
So group hugs are how we're ending it. Ladies,
Hey.
Jess, Nadia, Corinne, we're really legitimately actually appreciative that you came on our podcast. It doesn't have a lot of listeners, but like,
I'll subscribe.
do you
I'll
like
subscribe.
do you like this? It's fun, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we add to it.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
I
You
think I
guys
have to
definitely
move here
added.
just to be in the podcast again.
Next time I want my own microphone. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
We gotta get individual.
We
We
gotta
want one
get
of those
this
kid
going.
ones that makes it like
we
echo.
could really elevate you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I could.
And what about video?
We need to get some. Do we have any? We'll get there. Videos
I feel like
next.
we're all in a circle though, so it wouldn't be very like
Well, we gotta get a
visually
spot. We gotta
like
get a
appealing
spot.
to watch.
Yeah,
We're
we'll have a
not
better
visually
setup.
appealing.
Yo. What if for our next podcast we went down to like the Elrod basement and like set up a studio, bro?
Stu.
And get. I have a nice camera.
If-
Oh yeah.
If we had, but there's like so many of us though. Like if
It
we
could
had,
be
we had
around
like
my
2
desk.
cameras, like one on this side and one on this side, and then you just would have to
Switch back and
edit.
forth.
I need to get
Like,
a better
switch it when
computer so I
someone
can.
talks.
Anyways.
Anyways,
okay.
for all of our
Yeah.
listeners,
Yeah.
improvements coming. Aiden, anything?
Yeah, Aiden, I know there's more to you.
Just
Come on.
give your final closing.
Is he sleeping?
I,
No.
if I had to give you one piece of advice, it'd
Avoid
be
land wars in Asia.
brush your teeth in the shower so you save 2 minutes of your day.
Yeah, and you don't have to look at your ugly
That's
face.
good advice.
That is good
Yeah.
advice.
What if you
Just
almost take
kidding.
baths?
Love yourself.
Do you still brush your teeth in the bath?
Yeah, just scoop up your body.
But like before.
And gargle it in the
You
bathwater.
guys reuse your
I've done that
guys'
before.
toothpaste, right?
Huh?
You reuse your toothpaste?
What do you mean?
I
Spit it
know.
back into a cup and then just dip your toothbrush into the spit cup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
All right.
Every day.
Thanks for
Actually,
joining.
Don't use toothpaste. Goodbye.
Have a good one.
Hold on.
Oh, final snap for the cast.
Yeah, plug for the snap. Good homies, good convos.
BearCast Ep.2.
Yeah, sausage link in bio
You're gonna wanna
on
watch
the
this.
Instagram.
Listen, sorry.
Link in
You're
bio.
gonna want to see it.
Link.
I'm gonna watch it. Listen.
Over and out.
Subscribe. See it. I didn't watch it. Wait. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for coming back for episode 2 with the BearCast. It was a good one. I liked it. Anyways, like the lady said, subscribe, and we will be back with another episode soon enough. Peace out, y'all.